tracking weather that is continuing to keep things cooler than normal in the west. And that same pattern right into Minnesota, of course, has been giving us below normal temperatures. In the Twin Cities, though, we did end a streak of days, consecutive days with 1 inch or more of snow cover. Pretty remarkable, 116 days, the 9th longest on record, the longest in 22 years. So that officially comes to an end. I know many of you, though, have more than 1 inch of snow, even within the Twin Cities, still on the ground, and especially for northern Minnesota, plenty of snowpack. And while we're all itching for some warmer weather, this slow thaw is better for the flood threat as long as we can keep it going that way. Below freezing at night kind of puts the brakes on things, and then near 40-ish degree temperatures during the day. But yeah, still a lot of snow here to melt across the state. Close to 40 across much of southeastern Minnesota, but we continue to see this trend of much colder readings in northwestern Minnesota. Back in North Dakota, talked about this on Friday. Just a lot of deep snowpack there, and that reflects back a lot of this strong sunshine that in the rest of Minnesota further east, where we have trees, that absorbs a lot more of that solar energy, which makes a difference this time of year. Nearly 10 degrees below normal still today, and much colder than that even compared to normal in western Minnesota, nearly 20 degrees below normal. We are watching a clipper coming out of Canada. Not going to do much, but it is going to bring some clouds back for Tuesday and some snow showers for the northern half of Minnesota with some fairly minor accumulations. We're talking about a dusting to a coating. That's going to be about it for basically Brainerd, Alexandria, Duluth, up to International Falls. Might have some heavier, quick bursts of snow, and then that's when it's a little easier to maybe get a couple tenths of an inch on some of the grassy surfaces. But the bigger story is the storm system we're watching later this week, and this matters for the flood threat, and also just if you're sick of seeing snow, this storm could produce that. We've got a storm in the Pacific Northwest that's going to slam into California, bring more heavy precipitation there, and then reform as it comes out of the Rockies Wednesday into Thursday. Looks like rain and thunderstorms here in southern Minnesota to start. A snow band develops in northern Minnesota. This will be the first of 2 rounds of snow. The second round, much more uncertain track, but it could affect the Twin Cities in southern Minnesota. An April Fool's storm right here Friday night into early Saturday. And the potential for, as I mentioned, some thunderstorms here on Thursday and Friday. The Cape, that convective available potential energy, the energy for thunderstorms, that instability, all the way into southeastern Minnesota for the first time this spring. So we'll have to watch for thunderstorms and snow potentially Thursday into Friday as that system makes its way towards us. That first round of snow, as I mentioned, models all pretty confident of painting that across north central Minnesota. But the second round that'll develop at some point Friday night, that one kind of all over the place, anywhere from Duluth, the North Shore, to as far south as Iowa. And obviously the Twin Cities is in between all of those tracks. So we will see what pans out Friday night. We'll get a better understanding of that here as we get closer in time. But either way, classic spring storms, severe weather to our south, snow and rain for Minnesota, and colder before that too. After the Clipper system Wednesday, barely above freezing. That is about 15 degrees below normal. But maybe our first 50 finally by Sunday. And if not then, looks like a couple chances next week. So we might finally end that cold streak as well.